You have a day to do anything without any moral, legal, physical or psychological consequences. What would you do? I'll try to kill myself and see how no physical consequences works. I was expecting for something more like skydiving without a parachute lol. Was gonna say I'd kill myself to know how it feels. Even if you died for a day, you'd know whether there is an afterlife or not, and perhaps solve one of the biggest mysteries ever. That would have psychological consequences. If I weren't restrained by the law of physics, I would make myself basically an extra dimensional wizard chilling with the humans. Nice try, Dr. Manhattan. Rob a bank so I can quit my terrible job and finally be happy. I'd just hit as many banks as possible in one day. The average bank robber gets away with like $6,000. You're gonna have to rob a lot of banks if you want to quit your job forever. Man, every time I see these kinds of questions I'm like, so the FBI needs to reprioritize their watch list again, huh? I can do anything. I turn myself into a deity level entity and remove the filth from the earth. First I remove all traces of COVID, next the unwanted plastic in the ocean. I transmute excess carbon dioxide in the environment into pure oxygen and diamonds. The diamonds will be teleported to Mars right in front of the rover. I also refreeze the polar ice caps to how they were before. I also reset the rest of the environment to reduce the strength and frequency of large storms to before 2000 levels. I then write in the sky in every language and talk into everyone's head and say stop being jerks and make sure you don't mess up my planet again. I'm not fixing it a second time. And thus a new religion is formed. Spend a day with my wife and dogs, kayaking and camping. So whenever you spend time with your wife and dog you feel moral physical consequences, I'll let you spend time alone with my wife. You'll find out. Would I still feel pain? Cause I have fibromyalgia and I would give my right arm to have a day I could do all the things without everything hurting so much. Even riding a roller coaster means days of neck and shoulder pain. So if it were a pain and physical consequence free day, I would spend it doing dangerous movie stunts and then a trip to an amusement park where I would finally ride all the scary looking rides. And then I would buy a huge silly foam hat to wear to remind me of my awesome day. I feel you. I'm sorry you live in so much pain. I do as well, so I understand. Spondyloarthritis at 22 for me 28 now. I wish you a low pain day today. As an religious Jew, I'd love to try a cheeseburger. Edit. People have been asking why I can't have a cheeseburger and the reason is because there's a problem with mixing meat and dairy. Yes, vegan alternatives exist, but the fake meat is absolutely horrible. Dropkick a baby, assuming the zero consequences applies to the baby too, of course. Has anyone else wondered how far they would go? I have tried to kick a large ice water balloon before. It didn't go very far. The softness absorbed more of the impact and basically just deformed and flopped on the ground. The balloon was made of a sturdier type of material, so it could be blown up larger than we thought. So when I kicked it, it didn't pop. I think it's the closest you'll get to that scenario. They sell these types of balloons on Amazon if you're curious. Edit. Op. If you look at the replies to my comment, apparently a lot of people have given thoughts about dropkicking babies. Go on a shopping spree without paying and go into people's houses just to see how they live. Go to the grocery store and eat all the skins off the rotisserie chickens. I'd go visit my parents without the fear that I'd infect them with coronavirus. I just really need a hug from my mom right now, guys. Let's be honest, we all know what we would do, especially if there's an NSFW tag. Have sex with Gal Gadot, Anne Hathaway, and Alexandra Daddario. Would you even know where to find them? Like all three of them in 24 hours? Never underestimate a hungry man. I don't want the CIA coming over, but I'd do half the country and most of the world a few favors. Insane how vague this is, and yet everyone knows exactly what you mean. Nice try, FBI. Steal food and clothes from multiple stores and donate it to different charities. Then probably steal a Switch and a handful of games to go along with it. Take all of Jeff Bezos' money. All of it. Leave him with nothing. Set it up so it's steadily and consistency is donated to a ton of charities. Set a portion aside for relief funds. Set another portion aside for public projects that actually have the interest of the people in mind. Build a ton of shelters with the goal of helping people actually get back on their feet. A ton of soup kitchens. Donate to schools that need the money. Try to eradicate food deserts in poor and indigenous communities. The whole 9 yards. Leave enough for me to live comfortably, but the rest? That's going back to where it belongs. No consequences for me, or no consequences for anyone. Because if time resets and none of my actions have an impact on the world, but I get to keep my things, I'm gonna go steal some video games. If not, I'd probably try to beat the shit out of a pedophile or a corrupt politician. I would dress as a girl and maybe go swimming. Hit every *****HOLE on the road that cut me off, drove slow in the fast lane, or rode my ass. Oh, and everyone I saw texting and driving. It would be a marvelous day. I'd go and fuck everyone, rob a bank, adopt a cat, murder exactly 420,069, break out some people from jail and run around naked showing off my cock. I would go around lighting fireworks stores and tents on fire. It's something I vowed to do if I'm ever told I have end-stage cancer. I would be Google Earth for a day and just zoom in and out of different cities and tourist spots. Ask out every girl I have a slight interest in to see if she is interested and to get experience. Then, the next day, when they don't remember it, and I have no psychological damage due to rejection, I will know who I have a shot with. Watch the world burn. Oh wait, I'm already doing that. I would fuck Op's mother without a condom. Pro tip, it's never worth answering questions like this. Just lie and tell people something that makes you look good. So goodbye to my stepfather's father. He just died today. I only wish I could spend more time with him. Probably this will get buried, but okay. As the clock strikes midnight and the day begins, I dial up my boys, now called the Consortium, and tell them to gather each and every gold article they can from banks, vaults, treasuries etc. and bring it to my house. No, fuck it, my mansion, which I nabbed from some millionaire. This will probably cost them 6 hours, and in the meantime I'll proceed further. I call up the various embassies in the world and tell the envoys to do as I say in return for my promise of making them filthy freaking rich. Now those envoys are certainly all fed up of doing as their government says and want to be in charge of themselves, so they jump at the opportunity and ally with me. Since I can extend the immunity of consequences to as many people as I want, I can do anything. Remember, they are hooked in. I whisper my secret plan to them, and the operations begin worldwide. By 0800 hours, most of the gold would be under my control, stored safely in my mansion. I'll enforce the security around my home. No, I'll take an entire city, no, an entire state to myself. I will rope in the chief of defense staff to ally with me and station the entire army in my state. In the meanwhile, trucks upon trucks of gold and silver and other resource metals will keep coming in, while the secret international mission is in full swing. At 1200 hours, I'll declare myself as the one ruler of the entire planet, and would assassinate all the world leaders with the help of my shadow ninja police. At 1300 hours, I go out on a tour of the world and spot this pretty young lady named Tiffany. Now obviously before all this, she'd have not even looked at me, but now I have power and money and shit, so she is immediately attracted to me. I start talking with her and spend my entire afternoon laughing and teasing and touching and making love, you know it. By evening she is fully in love with me, not my power, because my persona is so damn charming. But it is already 1700 and I have to leave for the last phase of my plan, so I lightly kiss her forehead and tell her I'll meet her again in Mexico. By 1930, my scientists tell me the chandelier of abeyance is ready. Essentially a chandelier with super hi-fi stuff that will make people zombies, so that even if they try to topple my regime, I'd have full access to their brains. However, there is this one problem. Since they were all made within hours, they are not very effective. Anyway, the scientists give me the controller chandelier and take off to plant the others in various parts of the world. The time is now 2200 and I'm a bit tired. Working hard all day certainly takes its toll, however I must go on, for the work still isn't over yet. I call W, my loyal servant, and give him a very crucial job. And then I sleep. The chief of defense staff wakes me up at 0001 hours the next day. The entire world, even the Micronesian islands SMH, had declared war on me and my nation, the state of eternal flame. He urges me to use the chandelier, but I just smile. There will be no need of that, I say, for the fate of the world has already been written. The envoys I had granted immunity were doing a top secret mission printing shit tons of money worldwide so that the international currency drops down harder than my grades, and also destroying all the weapons and submarines and tanks and aircrafts worldwide. Since I'm now the sole owner of gold in the world, and the currency is effectively useless, and there is no arsenal of weapons, there is no war, and countries slowly start begging to me. I then establish a new nation, the United States of Eternal Flame, with me ruling over the entire world. 25 years later, there is this big ass uprising that threatens to break apart my nation. There is nothing to stop the masses, since not even my army can hold it against 7 billion angry people who want me dead. This is where the chandeliers fit in. I had already planned this out ages ago, so the revolt fizzles out and everyone becomes brainless zombies. Nope, the chandeliers are ineffective. Because they were made in one day, there is a software glitch which means 1 out of every 10 person is not affected by the chandelier. It's a total war against my army and the 700 million people who would rather see my head off my shoulders. The Third World War goes on for 5 years. The war sees the bloodiest conflict in human history. And you know what? When the war ends, it's a decisive win for them. The protesters walk into my mansion and break the chandelier. I have already fled by that time. The revolutionaries celebrate, because I no longer have the chandelier, and no longer control the rest of the people. But I know what to do. I have it all planned. You see, I had received this postcard from Tiffany, yeah, that hotshot I made out with 30 years ago, telling me she has a safe place for me in Paris, by the Trocadero. She says I have a son, and he is the chief of police. She's been waiting for me all those years, and has never taken another lover. I don't care. I don't show up. You see, the chandelier those men broke in my office was just a decoy. The real one was with W all along, now enhanced and improved to take the entire population. So I don't go to Paris. I go to Berlin. That's where W stashed the chandelier. First I just wanted to write that I always wondered how people have so much time to write comments. I still do. But I'll upvote this. It took me a while to realize the Dwight reference lol. The end. Thanks for watching.